Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Muy buenos días, tardes o noches, dependiendo de dónde estén viendo este video o a qué hora lo estén viendo. Bienvenidos a Formación Escopeta. Tenemos hoy un video especial. Vamos a estar platicando con un jugador de la USFL. Ya saben que, bueno, esta liga que se formó en este verano ya terminó la temporada regular, está a punto de darse, bueno, el campeonato. Al momento de grabar este video, estamos todavía sin saber quién es el campeón. Y entonces, bueno, básicamente esa es la idea. Tener como un poco de conocimiento sobre esta liga, sobre los jugadores, y me da mucho gusto contar el día de hoy. It's great pleasure for me to have here Brandon Barnes.
Yeah,
Brandon, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. It's an honor to have you here on the show. And well, Brandon, first of all, congratulations on this season of the USFL. Like you were with the Gamblers, right?
Yeah, the Houston Gamblers.
Houston Gamblers. Okay. How was this season for you? First of all, tell us, how was this season? How did you feel about this USFL season?
Um, I think it was overall, our record was kind of bad, but I feel like overall, as far as the league, it was a success. It was one of the first spring leagues to finish, and they're pretty much saying it's going to be back next year too. So I feel like it was a pretty good league for players like me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you mentioned something very important. They finished the season,
Right.
something that wasn't like a common practice in spring leagues. Remember the AAF, the XFL, they got caught during the regular season. They didn't finish. So I mean, it's a success to have a full season, and everything points to a second season, right? Everything is going through that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, we also know. I was doing a little bit of research that you've had the chance to be with some NFL teams, like the New York Jets, the Detroit Lions, the Raiders. So you had your chance in the league. Well, you've had some chances. Nothing finished yet. I know you're still trying.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that, man?
Well, every stop I've had has been pretty much a learning curve. Detroit was the first stop I had. I ended up having two stints in Detroit. So I started out in Detroit and then I went to New York for the Jets for like a couple of weeks. Then I ended up going back to Detroit. And each stop I say I learned a lot about, football, a lot about professional football because it's a lot different from college. To be honest, you gotta kind of it's more so like just a learning experience, even off the field. You just gotta learn how to kind of maneuver through the politics and stuff like that to kind of get your career started.
Okay, so well, you were in Alabama State, right? That's your college.
Yeah, Alabama State.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, I did my research, and well, you mentioned that it's different that the college level from to the NFL. You mentioned something about the politics. What can you tell us about that? How difficult it is for a player to get into the NFL an NFL roster?
Well, I went to a small college, so we were a D1 AA, so we weren't extremely small, but we were small. So pretty much to even get noticed out of like a D1 AA, and I went to a historically black college,
Hmm.
so you have to be pretty much perfect. Like, and when I say perfect, I mean you have to check all of the boxes. I mean, I've played against guys that I thought should have got a shot, and they were unfortunate that never got an opportunity. And being at that level, you kind of, I'm not gonna say you're not getting the best of the best, but it's when you go pro, you're playing against or with guys that's from the SEC and the ACC, and they had the best of the best coaching, facilities and all types of stuff, and it's like a learning curve. So you may be a little behind when you first get in the league, and you got to learn fast. It's certain stuff that they might have learned in college that I didn't, that I didn't know. And the political aspect of it is like I've been cut 5 times in my career, and I've never been cut because of talent. It's always either I got injured at the wrong time or it was literally numbers game. And I mean, numbers game is, I feel like it's the worst because I understand if you get injured, you can't play. So of
Mm-hmm.
course they got to do what they got to do. But numbers game is like basically saying you did nothing wrong. We just don't have enough room to keep you. So, I mean, as far as that, I've heard stories of guys just finding a way to make it through that type of situation. And I've been learning over the years how to adapt. And I think if I do get another opportunity, well, I'm not gonna say if. When I get another opportunity, I'll be
Yeah.
ready to adapt for it.
Sure, and as you mentioned, every step along your way has given you information and learning and their experiences that you can use for future opportunities. Because I'm
Yeah,
also sure you're going to get another one. And by the way, I mean that's the whole reason of having leagues like the USFL, right?
right.
To
Because you got a
showcase
lot of
guys.
talent. You got a lot of talented guys, and I mean, every team in the USFL had some guys that I feel like, man, they definitely could play in the National Football League, and it's kind of interesting because we was all staying in the same place, and you get to talk to some of those guys and hear their stories, and it's crazy. Like everybody in that league had a story.
I can believe that because again, as you mentioned, you are guys who have your couple of chances, maybe as you say, numbers games, injuries, uh, crazy things happen, and then you don't make it in a certain roster, and you end up looking for another chance, another shot, and you end up in the USFL. And it's interesting because I'm pretty sure you heard a lot of stories. And I remember I saw one of your tweets where you said, I have a great story to tell, but sometimes there's not enough place in the media to showcase all these stories. So that's why I contacted you. Like, man, we have this space. We would love to hear your story. So this is the whole point. Like, showcase what you have. And well, you were mentioning four teams in four chances in the NFL, two times in Detroit, the Jets, the Raiders, also the USFL. And well, if you could like put in one idea, like what's the biggest experience you get from the USFL, what would it be?
Um, I mean, just meeting new people, with kind of similar backgrounds. I felt like for a long time, and what's crazy, they all tell me my story is pretty insane too. But it's like as far as like the USFL experience, it was kind of new to me, staying in like the same place with guys that you're competing against, and then like it was almost like a big family of just competitive guys. It was almost like, okay, you see a guy from another team get down, it's almost like, or like go down with injury, you'll be sad because it's like, dang man, I see this dude every day, like and he's on a whole different team. So it was kind of interesting. I mean, I talked to coaches from different teams, and it was like that literally every day.
I mean, I can imagine because when we heard about the USFL with this like this model, this work model that they planned where all the teams were playing in Birmingham, you kind of feel like it's difficult, right? It's a little bit weird to live to be in the same place with every single team that is gonna play in the league, and basically there's only one home team, Birmingham, the Stallions.
Right.
And did you guys really feel that there was only one home team and the rest of you were like basically like away teams, or was this feeling that everybody was playing like in the same house, or I don't know, how was it to play in only one city?
Well, me personally, um, every game was a home game for me because I'm from Alabama. So,
Okay.
but as far as my team, yeah, we definitely felt like we was away teams. So, and you could actually see it. So, I mean, we had a good fan base because we had a lot of guys on the team that either played in the area or that's from Alabama. I think we actually had the most guys on our team from Alabama, and then we had a lot of guys from Atlanta and Tennessee, Florida. So it's driving distance. So our games we used to have a decent little fan base that would come and support, and you know, but you could definitely see the difference between us and the other team. Like Birmingham. Birmingham, you could tell like when they was playing, the games was packed, like sold out. and like you can see them walking to the stadium, be like, oh yeah, Birmingham's playing.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, the league were like, okay, you are the home team for the game, maybe you as the gamblers, but you were playing against maybe the Birmingham, and you say, well, there's no way I'm the home team, right? Like,
Yeah, because the first time we played them, we was actually the home team, but they got
mm-hmm.
all the home attributes and stuff. So they got, they had smoke coming out their locker room. I mean, not the locker room, but out of their tunnel. Third downs. You thinking like, okay, we're the home team, so usually if we have the ball on third downs, they're not gonna, turn on the sound system and tell people to make some noise. But they was doing that for Birmingham, so Birmingham pretty much they had it set out for them. I mean, they pretty much had a home game. Well, they had a home game every game until they got to the playoffs. So
Yeah, I mean, that was the only away game they had, like the playoffs, and now the championship game. And well, could you say, or maybe it was the feeling that maybe the Stallions had like this little extra push because of that, because of the model
yeah,
of
definitely.
the league?
Definitely, you could tell. I mean, the first time we played them, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we should have beat them both times because we had a lot of close losses. Like if you really paid attention to
Hmm.
the Houston Gamblers, we lost like 4 or 5 games in the last 2 minutes, and like I felt like we should have beat them the first time, but you could tell just playing them the first time they had a lot more energy than us because they fed off of that crowd. And after we played them the first time, we knew the second time, to beat them because we were the only team to beat them. We was just like, bro, we got to feed off this energy. Like even though we're the away team, we got to feed off this energy like it's, like we're the home team because, I mean, we've all played in hostile environments, you know, and I mean, it's pretty hostile, playing Birmingham in Birmingham. But I mean, we've all been in worse environments, so we couldn't let the crowd didn't really affect us too much. We just fed off of the energy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's best to have fans on the stands, right?
Right.
And being in an empty stadium, like it happened, for example, during the COVID years where stadiums were empty. I mean, it's better to have uh, the other team's fans instead of having just empty seats. I'm pretty sure that's different.
Yeah.
And well, uh, now the USFL is talking about expanding, maybe having more cities to play the games for, and maybe adding a couple of teams. How do you feel about that? What do you guys hear as players? Do they tell you something about that, about the plans of the USFL?
Yeah, they mentioned it. I mean, we kind of, like all the players are pretty much, we kind of lived in the moment. So we
Okay.
weren't really too focused on that. Now now of course you might have a couple teammates or whatnot talking about it, but I mean we just stayed in the moment. We was really just focused on like the season, and now I'm to be honest, I know a lot of guys, including myself, we kind of focus on the next opportunity. So I see a lot of my teammates pretty much working out, just making sure they're ready just in case, they can go to the NFL or whatnot. So, I mean, that's pretty much what people are doing now. I mean, push come to shove, we all be back in the USFL. So that's a plus that we have that, in our back pocket. So it's a lot of less
Okay.
stress on players too.
So basically, you have this open path to returning to the USFL, like if things fall that way, right?
Right.
Okay. But if you get the chance to maybe go to play for the NFL, there's also the chance to go there, right?
Right.
Okay, perfect. And well, there were some reports and some rumors that like the USFL was trying to maybe to block you guys as USFL players to move to the XFL. Is that real? Did that happen?
Um, I don't know the full details because it
Mhm.
hadn't, the situation hasn't came up yet, but I definitely heard that. So
Okay, yeah, like I mean, and you understand, as a league who's going to have to compete against the
yeah,
XFL, you want to protect your players. I mean, you don't want your guys to go to the other league because
yeah,
I
it
mean,
makes it makes 100% sense to me. I mean, I
mhm.
would. I wouldn't want my players to go to the USFL. I mean, not USFL. I wouldn't want my players to leave the USFL either. So I definitely get it. Especially from a business standpoint, you definitely want to keep because I feel like honestly at this point, most of the best free agents that are available, they all played in the USFL. Like, you get what I'm saying? So you got guys that, of course they on teams right now, rosters and stuff like that. And unfortunately, a lot of those guys are going to get cut as well. So, the USFL and the XFL are going to be competing for those guys, as well as, some of the college guys that might have slipped through the cracks
Mm-hmm.
this year. So, it's a lot going on. I mean, I'm glad it's two leagues to play in, but yeah, the USFL, they're pretty much trying to protect, the free agents that they have because, I mean, pretty much, like I said, we're pretty much the best available at this time.
And I mean, as you say, it makes sense. Like if you are trying to start a business, because at the end of the day, every football league is a business,
Right.
and everybody's trying to make that work. You say, well, I want the best players that I can get.
Exactly.
And if there's another league competing with me basically in the same months, I don't want my players to go there. So I'm gonna try to block the movements and to keep my players. So I know what I heard it. I wasn't sure it was like completely true, but you also heard it, right? Like they are trying to block you guys from going to the XFL, and maybe not block, but trying to prevent you to going from the XFL because they want to keep the talent. And well, I gotta ask because, as I told you, we are a Mexican website and YouTube channel. There was a little bit of interest from Mexicans to about the USFL because one of the quarterbacks of the USFL is Mexican, Luis Perez from the Generals.
Yeah.
You have the chance to play against the Generals, right?
Right.
Uh, I don't know if you remember the game against the Generals, and what did you see about the quarterback, Luis Perez? I mean, did you
Um.
get the chance to see it?
Yeah. Yeah. He scored the game winning touchdown against us. So Luis, I got a story. Like Luis, I've been on a team with Luis twice,
Okay.
but never got to play with him. So I was in the AAF, and that's when I first met Luis. He was with the Birmingham Iron, and
Okay.
I ended up I was with the Birmingham Iron for 3 days.
Okay.
So they had a mini camp, and then I feel like I did pretty good at the mini camp, and I ended up getting cut, like because, and I can say this now because uh, I actually got coached by the guy that cut me. So Tim Lewis, who was the D coordinator for the Houston Gamblers, he ended up cutting me, and he cut me for a guy that he knew. Like that's just the business side of it. Like I literally got cut while I was at home. Like we weren't even doing anything football related. I was at home. He calls me. He cuts me, and that was the first time I was supposed to play with Luis. And then in the AAF, or not the AAF, but the XFL, like 2 years later, um, Luis was drafted to the LA Wildcats, and
Hmm.
that's what team I was on. I was the first tight end drafted in that league as well. So I'm just we was supposed to play with each other, and we went through mini camp, and they ended up trading Luis to New York. So it's like, yeah, I've played in them in every spring league, literally.
So you have been close to playing with Luis, but you never had the chance.
No, never got a chance. But Luis he's a good player. Like he's a winner. I'll say that. He knows how to win a game. Very
Okay.
poised. He plays within himself. He's not gonna turn the ball over. He's a good player. He's smart, really smart.
Okay. Just for the Mexican fans who want to hear this, do you think he has a shot to maybe one day make it in the NFL?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I
Okay.
think I think because I mean he signed. I think he signed after the XFL too, if I'm not mistaken. But I know he signed after the AAF. And like I say, he plays within himself. He's a extremely smart football player, and I feel like that gives him an opportunity.
Okay,
The
great.
smarter you are, the more you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a very mental game, right? You have to be really good, a smart player in order to make it in the football field. And now, speaking about you, Brandon, as you say, you're going to try maybe to see what's next, right now with the NFL. Now that the training camps are about to start, we know that the players are moving. We always talk about to Mexican fans, like when you see a roster, that's never set in stone. A roster is
No.
always moving. Yeah, I mean, rosters are always moving. They are very, very fluid situations. And one day you have 50 guys in a team, and next week there are five new guys because injuries and they cut somebody, and those things are moving. Um, have you thought about maybe where would you like to go, and have you thought of, or checked some chances yet?
Well, at this point in my career, I just want to go the best place that I can actually get a real opportunity to actually make a roster. I don't want to go anywhere where I'm gonna be a numbers guy, but at the same time, the first team that calls me and if I got to work out for a team or whatnot, I mean, I'm going. So pretty much, my mindset is just to get back in the league because usually, the league is kind of hard to get in there when you don't have any game film. But the fact
Hmm.
that I've just played a whole season recently, played a lot of offensive ball, even though I didn't catch a lot of balls, I played a lot of snaps on offense, started every game, and I played a lot of special teams. So, you know, I feel like the NFL, they have film of me doing both. So, I feel like I at some point this year, whether it's training camp, preseason, somebody's gonna call me because it's injuries. Injuries happen, and somebody's gonna go down, and I know it. So my mindset right now is just to really just to be ready for whatever opportunity presents itself.
Okay, and well, let's imagine. I mean, we all have like our preferences. If you had the chance to choose one team to go maybe to for a workout, and you say, I know I can make it in this team, have you thought about that? Which team would it be?
To be honest, I feel like I could make all of them if I had a fair shot. But um, as far as specifics, like just a team I would love to go to,
Hmm.
um, any team in
Oh, sorry, Brandon, we lost you. Now you're back.
did it.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you
Hello.
perfectly. Yeah, I lost you for a couple of
So,
seconds. You were actually going to
okay.
name the team where you would like to play, and
Oh yeah. Well,
your
any
camera
team in the
froze.
Southeast. So New York. Well, not New York. Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons, the Jaguars, uh, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Nashville. Any
Okay.
team within that region, I love to play for them just because my family can make it to the games.
Oh, it makes perfect sense, right? Like it will be close to home. Your family could be there. Makes sense, absolutely. But as you say, we know that in the NFL, if Seattle calls you, you will be there, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
in a heartbeat. Anybody calls, I'll be there. So
yeah. I mean, that's why it was a question. Like, if you had the chance to choose, maybe just for some personal reasons, that would be great, right? And well, right now, well, actually, we were talking the last couple of days to get this interview done, and you were saying, I
Yeah.
sorry, man, I was working out. So basically, that right now is preparing for what's coming next, right? Right now, you're working
Right.
on getting better and getting ready for the shot, right?
Yep. Just making sure my tools are sharp and just making sure I'm in the best possible shape, which I'm in great shape because I just got through playing the season. But just making sure I'm in even better shape. So when that time presents itself, I'll be absolutely ready. And just making sure my body feels good.
Yeah, I mean, and well, I can tell you from all of us here in Formación Escopeta and all the people who watch this show, we really hope you get another shot very soon. We would love to hear your name on the transaction wire in the NFL, like you got signed by this team. We would love to hear that. And when that comes, maybe you can talk to us again, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That we would love that. I mean, because well, now more people get the chance to know you and know that you're trying to get there, and it's a great story. And as you said, you have been in different places, tried in several teams. Sometimes things don't work out the way you want to, but I love the fact that you're saying I'm not thinking about if the situation is going to come. You know that it will come back. You will get another shot, and you will be ready for that, right?
Right. That's the goal. I'm gonna be ready. So just waiting on the shot.
Perfect, my friend. And well, before we end up this interview, I want to thank you for taking this time to be with us and talk with me, and also for the people in Mexico. I don't know if you want to send a message to the guys in Mexico or Latin America that watch this show. Any message?
Well, yeah. I'm thankful to be on this show to talk about football and stuff like that, and shout out to the Mexicans, man, because y'all been supporting and y'all been tapping in. So you know, I know like the NFL and those leagues like that, they love going over there to play those preseason games and stuff. So
Hmm.
and those preseason games be lit. I've seen them. So you know, it's cool having a fan base in another country. It's almost like I feel like we're almost as popular as soccer. Soccer's really popular, but you know, it just feels good that they're tapping in and they're interested in what we got going on here.
Sure, and well, I can tell you, Mexico has a huge NFL fandom. There are millions of people here who watch the games every week and who are interested in the other leagues. I can tell you, I watch AAF games, I've watched XFL games, I've watched USFL games, even though we never got the chance to see them like legally because Fox decided not to broadcast the games here in Mexico. I can tell you, we watched some games. We watched a couple of games, and we watched the Gamblers and the Panthers and every single team. So thank you very much, my friend, and we'll keep in touch, right?
Right, exactly. I love to be back on here to tell y'all what happens next.
Yeah, we would love to hear your story, and whenever you get another shot, we will be talking to you to know what's going on. Okay, man?
All right, appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Brandon. Y bueno, pues a toda la gente que estuvo viendo este video, mil gracias. Nos vemos en la próxima. Y pues ya saben, si pueden dar like, suscribirse a este canal, les agradecemos. Nos vemos. Bye.